I wish I started investing in ETFs sooner. And after this video, you will probably too. Because in this video, you will learn what an ETF is, you will learn why you should care about them, and I will also share my best ETF picks here for 2025 and beyond. And I will share ETFs that you can use for both bull markets, so when the price goes up, but also for bear markets when the price goes down. So without further ado, let's get started right away here. But let's begin here by answering the very important question: what is an ETF? And in very simple terms, an ETF, or in other words, an exchange traded fund, is basically an investment fund that trades on stock exchanges, and it's very similar to, normal stocks. What is special here about ETFs is that each ETF holds a collection of assets. So this could be, for example, stocks, but it can also be bonds or even commodities. Think about things like, gold and maybe oil and things like that. And it can also include other things, even, cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. But the main thing here about ETFs is that they hold a collection of assets. So when you buy one ETF, you're not only buying one stock or one cryptocurrency. And here, and this is very important, when you buy an ETF, you are investing at all the assets in the ETF at the same time. So one great way to think about this is to think about an ETF as buying a pre-made basket of investments instead of selecting, stocks individually. So let's say that, this basket right here is an ETF. If this right here is a stock ETF, it might include, let's say it include NVIDIA, maybe it also includes Tesla, and last but not least, let's say it includes Apple. So if you buy this ETF, you will at the same time buy NVIDIA, Tesla, and Apple. So you are buying a collection of stocks. But now then, how does an ETF work? Well, an ETF is created and managed by financial institutions. And here, and this is very important, it's traded throughout the day at market prices. And this is unlike mutual funds, which you can't, buy and sell immediately. ETFs, you can buy and sell, as when the market is open, you can buy it, sell it just as a normal stock. And this is what I'm trying to show with this image right here. An ETF during the day will go up and down, just like a normal stock. And you can buy and sell it whenever you please. And this is a very nice thing and very convenient thing about ETFs. And here, most ETFs will track specific indices, like for example, the S&P 500. You might have heard about the ETF called SPY, or for short SPY. This is the world's largest ETF. I'm pretty sure about it, at least. It's the world's largest ETF. And this one basically tracks the performance of the S&P 500. So if you buy the SPY ETF, you're basically buying all the stocks in the S&P 500. And the S&P 500 itself is based, you can think about it, it's pretty much the 500 best stocks in the US. And here, one very nice thing about ETFs is that they can be bought and sold through any brokerage account. And a good thing about ETFs is that, let's say you wanna, buy Bitcoin, but you can't for some reason buy actual Bitcoin. Then for many people, it can be easier to buy an ETF that holds Bitcoin. So instead of buying Bitcoin directly, you can, for example, buy an ETF instead, and in that way get exposure to Bitcoin. But alright, so now then, what are the main benefits here of investing in ETFs? And the first benefit, in my opinion, is the instant diversification you get from investing in ETF. Earlier in this video, we talked about that when you buy an ETF, you are buying a basket of goods, right? And this means that you don't have to pick specific stocks and dive deep and analyze. That can be very fun and profitable for some people, but if you want to just, keep it simple, buy once and then go to the beach, ETFs can be much better. If you want some more information, we can simply click more here, read some more. By the way, if you want me to share this page, let me know down in the comments below. I can definitely do that. This page I created right here. But another important thing about ETFs is that they tend to have lower costs. So as you can read right here, ETFs typically have lower expense ratios than mutual funds. And they usually also have no investment minimums. So if you only want to buy, a little bit, you can often do that when it comes to ETFs. Another very, very nice feature about ETFs is that they are usually very simple and accessible. As we talked about earlier, they are easy to buy and sell, and they work pretty much like normal stocks. You can buy and sell them wherever you want. And last but definitely not least here, they are flexible. So you can choose. There are thousands and thousands of ETFs covering different assets and different market sectors. As you can see here, ETFs exist virtually for every investment you can think about. We're talking about things like stocks, commodities, even, as I said, cryptocurrencies. So they have a very flexible approach. All right, so last but definitely not least, I want to share with you guys some of the best ETFs for 2025 and beyond. And of course, I always have a disclaimer in the beginning of the video, but this is not financial advice. I have just chosen these ETFs based on what I think are tailwinds here in the future, such as the development of AI, the fact that we need more and more energy. And I will also share with you guys, if you are someone that thinks perhaps the market will continue to not do good. Right now, the last couple of weeks have been rough for the stock market. I will share with you guys some ETFs for that as well. But the first ETF I want to pick here is called BOTS, and this right here is a play on artificial intelligence and robotics exposure. If you have not been living under a rock, you have noticed that recently AI is just getting stronger and stronger. NVIDIA has been, the NVIDIA stock has been going up a lot the last couple of months and years. And this right here is basically a play that AI and robotics will continue to dominate here in the future. One of the key holdings here is NVIDIA. So this ETF holds NVIDIA, but it also holds many different companies, everything from semiconductors to robotics and many interesting companies. And I will make sure to leave links to all of these ETFs so you can read more about them. And you can see here that the expense ratio is around 0.68. My next pick here is XLE. This is a very simple pick, and this is a play on energy. Because if you think that we will, need more and more energy in the future to, be able to power all of this AI, this can definitely be an ETF to pay attention to. The companies in these ETFs are basically the large energy companies in the US. We're talking about oil and gas giants. And one nice thing about this ETF is that, as you can see, the expense, so what you have to pay for the ETF, is very low. So that can definitely be an ETF to pay attention to. Another ETF you can definitely pay attention to is the GLD. And this is one of these ETFs that are not about stocks. This ETF is a gold backed ETF. So if you, for example, think that the government will continue to print more and more money, this could be an ETF to pay attention to, because historically, as governments have printed more and more money, gold have just increased and increased in prices. The expense ratio here is 0.40, but if you think that governments will continue to just print more money, this can be one to pay attention to. As you can see here, this ETF tends also to be a safe haven during markets uncertainty. So recently, you know, with all the potential trade wars going on, the market has been very uncertain. So definitely this can be an ETF to have in mind. This is a similar alternative, but maybe more modern. This is the Bybit Bitcoin Trust. And this, as I talked about earlier, can be a great alternative if you want to buy Bitcoin, but have trouble, you know, buying Bitcoin directly. Then buying an ETF that holds Bitcoin can be a good option. As you can see, this one gives you direct Bitcoin exposure in the ETF form. And this one, of course, benefits from mainstream crypto adoption. Recently, Bitcoin has been having a little bit of a dip, so perhaps this is a good buying opportunity if you believe in Bitcoin. And last but not least, this is for all the bears out there. The last ETF I want to share is called SH. And this right here is a short ETF. So this is one of these ETFs that goes up if the market goes down. So if you predict that the market will continue to go down in the future, maybe, you know, the trade wars will continue, maybe the market will continue to be uncertain, this can definitely be an option. As you can see, this one offers market downturn protection. But as you guys know, over a very long period, the market tends to go up. So this one is a little bit more short term than the previous ETFs. As you can see, this one, in my opinion, is best for shorter to medium term positioning. And you can also see that this one has, you know, a little bit more expense compared to many other ETFs. But yeah, guys, these are 5 of my top ETF picks for 2025 and beyond. If you want me to share this page, I can try to do that. So let me know down in the comments. And also, if you want to dive deeper into how to analyze specific stocks, I highly recommend to check out this video next.